So to get started with the data, you see that I've got a folder on my computer that we're looking at here in Windows Explorer containing the 4 data files that we're going to be working with in this lecture series. The data that is central to the analysis is the flight data contained in the flight data starter file. So let's go ahead and open that up. And it contains 2 worksheets. Now, one is flight data. I'm going to click over to the flight data worksheet, and this is our first view of the raw flight data. Now, some of the headings are wider than the space allotted to them right now, which makes the column headings look jumbled up. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up to the upper left-hand corner of the data and click on the record selector there. That's actually going to highlight the entire worksheet. And from there, I'm going to go, and it doesn't matter which columns you hover in between, but I'm going to hover in between. I'm doing column F and column G until I see the cursor change to those crosshairs. And I am going to double-click to auto fit the width of my columns, and that just makes the data a little bit easier to see. You can now read all of the column headings and it just cleans things up a little bit. This is going to be the file where we do the majority of our work. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to get the data that we need from the other supplementary files that we downloaded and get it all into one workbook so that we're working with everything in one centralized location. I'm going to select my Windows Explorer folder again, and for starters, I'm going to open up the airport.csv file. This is a supplementary file that we also downloaded that contains the information about the different airport codes, and in the description field we have both the city and state where the airport is located as well as the airport name. We'll be doing some work with this data in a future video, but for right now, we just need to get it moved over into our other workbook. So I am going to right-click on the airport worksheet name, select the option for Move or Copy. It's going to open up this Move or Copy dialog box. I'm going to click in the drop-down box and say that I want it to move it to my Flight Data Starter workbook. And then I just want to move it to the end of that workbook. So in the Before Sheet section, I'm going to select the option to move to the end. And what I want to do is create a copy. I don't want to move the data in this CSV file over. I just want to make a copy of it. So I'm going to check that box, click on OK. And now it has taken us back over to our flight data workbook. And as we're looking at the worksheets, we now have the flight data. We have the carrier delay codes, which were already in the file, and now we have the airport data as well. Now I am going to go back over, going to hover over my Excel button down in the taskbar. You'll see both of the files are open, and I don't need to do anything else with the airport.csv file, so I'm going to close out of that. We need to step through that same process again, however, to get the data from the unique carriers file. So we'll go back over to Windows Explorer, open up unique carriers, and step through the same process for making a copy of this worksheet and moving it over to flight data. So right-click on the worksheet name, select the option to move or copy. We want to move the selected sheets to our flight data starter book, and again we'll just move it to the end and check the box to create a copy. Click on OK, and now it's been added to our flight data starter workbook. And since we're done with it, I will again go over and just close that out so that we've only got one workbook open at a time.